Hi all, I'm Melissa and welcome to Oh My Word Melly. So in today's video I'm going to tell you about my top 10 favorite romance books that I have read recently. They contain some YA books and a majority of new adult books. So if you're on the lookout for a good romance or a rom-com read, I think this is going to be your video. So without further ado, let's get started. Guys, these 10 books I absolutely adore, and I can't stress enough that y'all should read them. Some of them are popular, very trending books that I'm pretty sure y'all would have seen around Instagram, BookTube, or even TikTok, or even y'all might have already read them. And there are some books which are underrated that I think that they should be definitely popular or they should start trending, because guys, those books are amazing. I don't know why people won't pick them up. So all the books I'm mentioning I have read and I have rated on Goodreads as well. So if y'all are still not following me on Goodreads, on Instagram, I think you should follow me. My handles are in the description box down below as well. Starting off my recommendation with The Grump Who Stole Christmas by S. Doyle. This is the first book of the Kringle Family Christmas trilogy, and all three books are written by three different authors, and based on what I got to know, these three authors always collaborate and do trilogies, mainly Christmassy ones as well. So do check it out. Oh my god, it wasn't what I was expecting. So it follows a girl, like she's like a typical boss lady, a city girl. She's like conquering her work, her career, and she's like going to be the CEO. And then her father, who lives in like the suburbs or in the countryside, having their own Christmas inn and also a Christmas tree farm, gets into has an injury which makes her go back home. And then she meets this guy called Paul, who is managing the Christmas tree farm, and they hit it off like, oh my god, like it reminded me of a Hallmark movie. And in the book also they reference to this as like, this seems like a Hallmark movie, and I'm like, yeah, even though it just resembles a Hallmark movie, I'm not saying that it's like a cliche, but this cliche like just worked, and I so loved it. Like, she didn't like his attitude, and she was this high flung woman, and like he was like, yeah, not worth my time. But then it is like, I can't say slow burn also, but it's not love at first sight, but they start having this banter between them. It's like sort of a enemies to lovers sort of thing, but with a Christmassy vibe to it. I absolutely adored it. And like, this book also covers or like captures about family, about siblings, about moving out of your bubble and taking risk and chances for your own good or like your own future. So it was also a bit inspirational. And guys, so when I was reading the book, I didn't think that it was going to be spicy. I'm not saying like it's over the top spicy like Credence or something. But guys, when the spice comes, oh my word, it hits you, man. Overall, the story was really cute. It was really romantic, and like, definitely y'all should check it out. The next book that I want to recommend is The Shadi Setup by Lily Weir. Guys, I read this as soon as it was out and I loved it. It had some spice as well, and it's about like high school sweethearts to enemies to lovers, and also like second chance romance, all like mixed up with this matrimonial sites and parents or mothers actually who are trying to set them back together, and marriage proposals. And oh my god, that was like really funny as well as swoony and romantic, and all wrapped up with a desi like a Indian flair to it. They meet each other after years, and like this guy has only dumped her and broke her heart, and they never reconciled after that. But then their parents or their mothers conspire behind their backs and then make them somehow meet, and he comes with actually a work proposal where she has no choice, or like she has but she chooses to anyway go ahead with the work. And like they have this entire interior designing renovation sort of job, and while working to each other, while they are forced to work each other with the close proximity and all, like they start developing their feelings, they start reconciling, forgiving each other. Y'all should definitely read this. Like even the vibe, the setting, I think was really amazing. That I really love this book. Like it's one of my recent new faves. So do check out the Shadi Setup by Lily Vale. So the next book that I'm going to recommend is The Marriage Game by Sara Desai, which is the first book of the marriage series, and the third book, The Singles Table, was just released back on the 16th of November. So The Marriage Game is a fun and hilarious rom-com with like office rivalry, slow burn, and like somewhat inspirational as well. So this girl loses her job in the city after a bad breakup and her outburst because of it, and moves back into living with her parents. I can't remember where. And the parents, so this entire family or this entire story too has a Desi Indian flair to it and an Indian mashup into it. So she goes back to live with her parents who run an Indian restaurant, and she decides she wants to start her own business. And her father rents out a floor above the restaurant as an office space, and he has already given it to someone else, but he also gives it to her. And in the midst of that, trying to cancel the other guy's lease, the father gets a heart attack and he never gets a chance of canceling it or speaking to them, and both of them end up having to use the same office. And also in the meantime, because of his daughter's situation, the father has gone and set up a dating profile on one of the dating websites, and he has narrowed down like 10 prospects of who could marry his daughter, and to see half of them were like scammers. And the two, or the main characters of the book, they end up falling in love with each other while she is interviewing all these prospects and finding out that okay, no one is going to be like this guy for her. And I just loved how everything just flowed, like because more than the guy, the girl, so I'm not trying to sound like a feminist, but I might come across like that, because the girl had more what do you say, power to her choices in a conservative like background, or like an environment where even the prospects or these people were like, you are a girl, you can't do anything without a guy. But she is the one who, okay, I can't say that. If I say that, I might spoil it. So y'all have to like read it, because the banter between them, the way they fall in love with each other is utterly hilarious. And sometimes you're like, just get together, you know. And also this book captures a lot about friendship and family, and also about, like, it was so inspirational, because it's like no matter what happens, nothing can put you down unless you let it put you down. And everything that happens, everything that goes wrong is just going to make you tougher and tougher. So it was like really inspirational, and I just loved it. But I didn't like some things about this book, and that is like the chapters were like really long, and I read the digital book of this, or the ebook of it. So on my Kindle, I don't know, based on my reading space, like one chapter was like 20 minutes, and that was, I thought, 20, like some were like 33 minutes. Like I thought that was like just a bit too much, especially for a rom-com. But nevertheless, love the book. Starts off slow as well, but it does build up later on, so it's a fun book to read. The next book is Love Unexpected by Jenny Proctor. That's the second book of the Some Kind of Love series, and the fourth book, which is Love in Blooms, is coming out next year. And like now I really need to get to it. This is more like a YA kind of romance book, but still it was like swoony, and if you want something fun and like breezy and swoony, this is like a typical rom-com, guys. Like it's romantic and it's comedy. It makes you laugh. Like I was laughing throughout this book, and oh my god, a road trip to find love. Who wouldn't love it, right? It's about this YouTube celebrity called Isaac and a girl called Rosie, who has been a fan since Isaac started his YouTube channel, since he was not so popular. And years later, she comes across a job opportunity that she actually nails and get to work with him. While she's working there, like she's trying to contain her like love for him, or like her huge crush, and like all her friends who are working with her and like Isaac, they get to know that she has a crush on him, and they start helping her to get them to hook up. And it like leads into one of these road trips where this guy is like totally oblivious, and but like he has some feelings towards her, but he doesn't know that he loves her, and like he thinks he's messaging someone else. And like they go on a road trip to meet this mysterious girl who Isaac is messaging. But to see the mysterious girl who he is messaging is Rosie. She is using her first name on this social media. I think it's Instagram that they are talking about. And like on this road trip, she starts leaving hints. Like everyone just knows, like everyone who didn't know that this was the entire setup to get them together, like people started even guessing and like realizing. But Isaac was the total oblivious dude there. Okay, like oh my god, I was like, come on dude, like she's right there. And he's like, he ends up falling in love with her, but the notion of no, he's going on a road trip to meet someone else he loves by just messaging, he doesn't like get to know, like he just gets the same vibe from the person he's messaging and this girl who is going along with him on the road trip. But oh my god, like that entire road trip, the way they fall in love, it's just so cute. Like y'all have to read it. Like I can't stress this out anymore, guys. Like, and guys, this next book, oh my god, it's Pink and Country by Emmanuel Snow. So underrated, guys, so underrated. If y'all still haven't checked out this author, like run, like just run, go grab the book. If you're a smutty reader, if you love romance and spicy romance, like this is a new adult book, it's amazing. It has the grumpy sunshine vibe, and it's between a published author and like a country music artist, like a celebrity. He's like a legend in country music, and she goes to this mountain like condos kind of thing for like to just relax, detox, and work on her next book because she was having like writer's block. And then to see this country music artist is the one who owns the entire property and all the condos there, and like she is totally oblivious, she doesn't know who he is, and he finds that very intriguing. And like he's a little bit grouchy and like doesn't want anyone taking photos. That like he's also hiding from all the paparazzi, no one knows that he owns this area, like everything. And then they hit it off, like having a banter, and then they start falling in love, and like the spice, and that's a guy you need to have. Like, oh my god, Carter Hills is the man of my dreams. Like he would do anything for this girl. Like I just can't, like I just thinking of him is like, oh god, I don't know. Like, and guys, another thing I loved about this book is, so this girl has pink hair, and Carter's work is calling her nicknames like Cotton Candy, Bubblegum, Pixie, Pink Fairy, and I'm like, swooning. I was like so swooning. I think I was just devouring the book because it was so amazing. And this is a series actually, Carter Hill's Band series, and like more books are coming out. Like so this author has novellas, spin-offs of the like short novellas, like very quick. You can read a novella in like 2 hours or less, and like so much information that I love. Like the novellas just completes everything, and then also she has bonus chapters and bonus scenes for all the books. I have read most of the novellas, as well as I have to read Princess and Country, which is the second book. Third book comes out next year, I think, which is Whiskey and Country. I'll read any book Emmanuel Snow sends me, or just put publishers, because now, guys, I don't know why I didn't know about her any sooner. I just love her books. So underrated. Y'all should definitely check out Pink and Country by Emmanuel Snow. The next book I'm going to recommend is Red, White and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. This is one of the hyped and trending books, and guys, it doesn't disappoint. It's amazing. I have heard, like, I don't even know why, I have heard mixed reviews for this. They're like, it's too political, it's not romancy and all. For me, I didn't care. Like, I wanted to know all the political drama that was going on, because that fueled the romance in it. And this has a gay romance between the Prince of England as well as the son of the President of the US, who hits off as enemies to see. They were just enemies because they secretly liked each other, and like one guy didn't like the president's son of the US president's son, that character, he didn't know that he was actually gay or bi. So it was a journey of him discovering himself and also falling in love with the Prince of England. I loved everything about it, and the spice. It was spicy. I don't know why some people don't like this, because I absolutely love this. I couldn't stop reading this. It's like so amazing. Like, hey, see, I have so many notes in this. So if y'all still haven't read this, and if y'all are unsure if y'all should read it, I think y'all should read this, because this is one LGBTQ represented book that I have read, loved it, and I really can't, I wouldn't mind rereading this, honestly. Like, so this next book, if I didn't mention it in this video, it's not going to be a romance book recommendation video, because this next book is The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. This is like the OG new adult romance book, and like, so if y'all are in the know or on top of all the bookish news, y'all know that The Hating Game was adapted into a movie, and starring Lucy Hale, and I can't remember the actor's name, but I can't wait to watch it. Guys, I just read it, and like, it's like a really old book, and a lot of people had recommended it to me, and I finally read it, and I just absolutely loved it. Like, office rivalry, enemies to lovers, and like, she gets sick and he's taking care of her. They go to a wedding of his exes, and the way they fall in love. If y'all are just getting into rom-com or new adult, I think that's the book you should start with. Amazing. Like, it is the foundation. It is the OG book of rom-com. Like, love the banter, love the office rivalry, like fighting for a promotion. Like, yes, yes, yes. I loved that. I just loved it. So that's all I'm going to say about this. Go read it. The next on the list is The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. Did you know this is like 2 authors have written this book? One is Christina and the other, as you know, Lauren. I didn't know until this. This is actually my first Christina Lauren book, and I have seen people recommending most of their other books as well. I really need to read it. Like Inner Holidays, which is one of their holiday romance novels, is on my TBR for December. So let's see. I absolutely loved this. Loved it. Okay, so the banter, the humor, it was amazing. Like definitely rom-com as well. But Ethan, the guy, okay, like he was getting on my nerves like mad. For a well-educated person with a good job and I don't know, level-headed, that bugger was some dim wit. He couldn't see what was right from wrong, and like, yeah, all this miscommunication, like, okay, so I'm not a fan of miscommunication, but it did work here. It did. I love the story. So the miscommunication was what led for them to be enemies. So when they ended up in Hawaii, they had to pretend that they were on a honeymoon because this girl, Olive's twin sister, identical twin sister, is the one who booked the honeymoon, or they won it actually because she was getting married, and this wasn't refundable, and like you can't transfer it to someone else also, and like they didn't want to give this once in a lifetime trip in Hawaii to go to waste, but the entire wedding party got sick and like food poisoning and stuff. Only Olive and the best man, or the groom's brother Ethan, were the only ones who didn't get sick. And finally they end up going and pretending as if they were on a honeymoon and they were like enjoying the package, and then they started falling for each other, but there was so much of drama that they ended up breaking up. He was trying to win her back. Loved it, guys. So do check out Unhoneymooners. I highly recommend this as well. I highly recommend all the books that I'm mentioning in this video as well. So the next book that I want to mention, well, this is the only book in this list of books that I still haven't read, and that is On a Night Like This by Lindsay Kelk. A recommendation video won't go anywhere with me if I don't mention Lindsay Kelk, because I just love her books. The I Heart series, like I didn't want to recommend the I Heart series here because I always talk about it, but as I'm again talking about it, I'm going to say, yes, go read the I Heart series. Amazing romance books. It's a big series, but it's amazing. So, On a Night Like This is the most recent book by Lindsay Kelk. It was just released, and I was fortunate enough to join one of her launch parties where she invited me to join, and she read this entire chapter. Her voice was smooth, like so soothing, but apart from that, the chapter she read made me fall in love with the book even without knowing anything. Like, I will 100% recommend that book just for that chapter as well. It was amazing. I can't wait to read it. I know it's going to be the book I'm starting 2022 with. I just know it from what I heard from that chapter. Guys, it's a book I'm going to love. So I think you should definitely buy it or get the ebook and read it, because Lindsay Kelk doesn't disappoint either. So the last book, I'm pretty sure all of y'all, like if y'all are really close with me, if y'all follow all my Instagram and YouTube and even Goodreads, TikTok, I don't know, should I continue? If y'all follow me, y'all know this is my most favorite book of the year. It's like top one god tier book of 2021 from all the books that I have read, and this has to be recommended here because it's none other than It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. First Tessa Bailey book that I read. I read it few months after it was released. I read it on my Kindle and I loved it so much that I didn't even wait an hour after I finished the book to order it. And I ordered the second book, Hook, Line and Sinker, which is coming out in April also. I know I'm like months away, but I still had to order it because I really need to get it. Don't be fooled by the cover. It can be a cute cartoonish cover, okay, but it's spicy. So spicy. so spicy. Oh my god, don't get deceived by it. I just don't know how to explain this, but this is a book, no matter what you say, you are going to love. This has the Grumpy Sunshine vibe as well, and like Piper is a socialite and influence and like a popular Instagrammer, and she throws this wild party where she ends up going into jail, and her stepfather is like, that's it, you have crossed too many lines, now you need to get your act together, and he ships her off fishing village where she has to build up a restaurant that is failing, and then she meets Brandon, a local there, and then oh my god, that guy. They first impressions were like, okay, no way. Like Brandon was like so judgmental, like she just stepped out of a magazine. Who does she think she is, coming here like that? And like first impressions, I was like laughing, and then he would do anything for this girl. And there is something called the recharging station in this. I'm like, oh my god, this is one book to date I am thinking of as if I have just read it or I'm just reading it. Like it's like months since I read this and I can't stop thinking of it. Passing by my book cupboard house, as soon as I see the spine, I'm like thinking of it again. It's just like, it's just the best, like the best. Y'all should read this. I'm so sorry if this video is like really lengthy. I tried not to talk much about books, but you know, when I start talking about books, I just can't stop. Especially books that I loved, and I'm pretty sure y'all will love them as well. So go check them out. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and also share this video with anyone who would love to watch this. And also don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click on that little bell icon so that you will be notified when I post my next videos as well. If you would like to see more recommendation videos, do let me know what sort of recommendations you would like in the comments down below as well, and I will do my best to cater to all of your needs. It's time for me to wrap up this video, and until I see you in my next video, stay safe and bye from Oh My Word Melly.